Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome, Facebook. Welcome, YouTube. Welcome, podcast listeners, wherever you're catching today's coffee chat. I'm glad that you are here. Thanks for joining us. I thank you for all the text messages that you've been sending. A lot of you have just sent a text to that number, although I've asked you to text 833-792-6372 if you have a question for me. A lot of you have just sent texts of encouragement. Thank you for the coffee chats. And that means the world to myself and our entire team. We share those with everybody. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here with us today for the coffee chat. I want to talk to you about a word this morning, and it is the word focus. Focus. You move toward, I remember years ago hearing Rick Warren talk about how you always move toward what you focus on. Remember when you're a kid riding a bike, like if you're looking this way, your bike is going to go that way, right? And I guess it's true driving a car. Whatever you look at, you steer toward. Whatever you focus on, you move toward. The Bible has a lot to say about what we focus on. I'm a big Colossians 3 fan. Colossians is probably one of my favorite books in the Bible. And if you've not read Colossians in a while, there are a lot of great verses in Colossians, like Colossians 3:23, that says, set your focus on things above, not on things of this earth. Another verse that comes to mind is in Proverbs. Let me read it to you. Proverbs chapter 4, verse number 25. There's a lot of good ones here, but let me read you verse 4:25. It says, let your eyes look straight ahead. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze, fix your focus directly in front of you. Every day, leaders, friends, we choose what are we going to focus on. And it's more often than not a subconscious choice that we make on focus. If you get my emails, we sent a Kids Matter email an hour or two back, and I talked about this at the beginning of the email. What are you going to focus on? I can choose to focus on my own fears and insecurities, or I can choose to focus on who I am in Christ and what God says about me. I can choose to focus on the problems in front of me that seem so ginormous, there's no way I can ever figure them out. Or I can choose to focus on asking the right questions and trying to come up with the right solutions. I can choose to focus on problems in a relationship, or I can choose to focus on prayer and praying to the one that can fix all those problems. So much of life comes down to, what am I focusing on? And one thing you're going to hear me talk a lot about this week is your focus. Your focus. What are you focused? Who are you listening to? What are you reading? Where is your focus today? Now, listen, I want your focus to be in the right spot, because you will move toward what you focus on. How's your focus? How's your focus? Now, it's kind of fitting that we're talking about focus. And I think maybe one reason I've thought a lot about focus is because over the weekend, we added some new games to the Kids Matter store. Some new on-screen games about focus. And so I've been thinking a lot about focus, and these are very timely games. In fact, let me share my screen briefly, because I know a lot of you use Orange curriculum, and the theme for June and July is focus, right? And so we've got 3 brand new games. Look at them right here. Bring to Focus Sports Edition, Bring to Focus Fruit Edition, Bring to Focus Animal Edition, where these are fun on-screen games where the kids watch this video and then this image that's blurred comes into focus. They have to guess what the image is, and then they've got like 5 seconds to do that, and then it reveals the answer. So I've been thinking a lot about focus. I think because of these games, thinking about the orange curriculum, their theme for June and July is focus. And the Lord keeps bringing the word focus to my mind. And I hope that for some of you, this will really encourage you today. What are you focusing on? How much time are you spending in this book? How much time are you spending listening to the voice of God? Now, listen, if you want to hear the voice of God, one of the best places to train your ear to hear the voice of the Lord is right here in the Bible. You want to hear God's voice? Open this book, right? God primarily today speaks to us through his word. And I understand he speaks to us through his still small voice. And I understand that he speaks through dreams, and he speaks through visions, and he speaks through others. But primarily, God speaks to us through this book. Spend some time focusing on this book. Make sure that you are listening to the voice of the Lord. It'll help you with your focus. Welcome again to the Daily Coffee Chat. If you have something you want to talk about, if you have a question, please text this number right here, 833-792-6372. We've got a great coffee chat for you today. I want to introduce you to Lisa Santee. Lisa and her husband, Scott, have been great ministry partners of ours for several years now. I know Scott has been to here at Kids Matter HQ. Scott and Lisa have both been to MegaCon, and I love their ministry, Filters of Hope. I love them as a family, and really admire their desire to partner with the church to help the church make a difference. Hey, good morning, Lisa. How are you?
Doing great.
Are you all surviving this pandemic all right?
Yeah. It's crazy to think about life kind of outside the house. When you think about all that's going on, but we're doing well.
But you're doing your best. Now, how many kids do you have at home?
One at home, one who lives in an apartment nearby. So
nice.
It's going well. Yeah.
Now, I've got to tell you, it's been a while since we've had someone on the coffee chat that has a banner behind him that says drink manure water.
Yes.
Go
ahead.
No, I was going to say, you might recognize that from MegaCon, right?
Yeah.
You had that at MegaCon. Talk to us about it.
Yeah. The World Health Organization says that more than 2 billion people every day are drinking water that's contaminated by feces.
That's crazy.
And that's 2 billion kids, 2 billion people are drinking manure water every day. The same water that they're getting their drinking water from is also where the cows are drinking water, and they're bathing, and people are bathing, and all that is in that water.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming.
It's a major health problem for sure.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I walked by your booth and I saw you ask someone if they wanted to drink manure water, and they did it.
Yeah.
With the thanks of a filler that I know we're going to talk about at some point today, but
yeah.
So tell us, what have you been thinking on these days with this pandemic, and even beyond the pandemic? I know you all have such a heart for what's going on around the globe.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
Well, I think one of the things that's really kind of overwhelmed me lately, I guess, in terms of my thoughts, is just our kids and the things that are kind of coming at them every day.
Yes.
All the problems in the world, just look at this last week. There's myriad things that are coming at them. And most of those things, there is nothing they can do anything about that. You look at the pandemic, our kids hear about it. They see all these things that they're restricted from, but they don't understand it. And they know that there's nothing they can do to fix it. I've seen it even in my own kids. The anxiety level of our kids has just skyrocketed.
It really has.
Yeah. And I just think one of the things that I have seen in my kids is, they become self-focused. They're thinking about themselves and how this all is affecting them and their lives. And it just is kind of hopeless. And I just think we need to find things for our kids that are kind of outside of themselves, that are giving them a way to focus on somebody else and to figure out a way that they can actually make a difference.
Yeah, I love that. And, the Clean Water Project is a great way to do that. And that's true. I think I definitely agree with what you're saying. I think they're not only with kids, but just the population in general. I mean, anxiety has gone through the roof and people are scared. And I think you're right. I think by shifting our focus in helping these kids understand that they can make a difference even during times like this to help someone else, I think that's a huge win-win for the church and a win-win for the family and a win-win for the home. Now, your ministry is Filter of Hope. That's the name of the ministry, filterofhope.org, right?
Yes.
Filterofhope.org. And I know you've got a new project, a clean water project. I don't know if it's new, but I've asked you to come in and talk to us about that today, and to talk to us about how we as church leaders and those of us that are parents, how we can really develop compassion and more of an outward focus with our kids. So let's talk about that. Maybe start by talking to us about, I've kind of dropped the Clean Water Project name out there a few times. Tell us, what is the Clean Water Project?
So the idea behind the Kids Clean Water Project is helping kids help kids just like themselves all over the world by giving them clean water. We have lessons that kind of teach kids all about the water crisis, global water crisis, about, like we were talking about, the manure water, and maybe how far kids have to walk each day to get water, or those kind of things, and how those things affect their health. So much of it's more than 50% of the sicknesses that are in those third world countries are caused by dirty water. And people are saying, if we would just have clean water, all of these problems would be solved. So anyway, we teach them about the water crisis, and then we teach them about how this filter that we've developed can help give people clean water, and then take away those diseases and give them a chance to go to school and things like that. And then we teach them also, there's a beautiful illustration of the gospel kind of hidden within the filter. So we use the whole word picture to share the gospel with the kids. And then we give them a chance to respond and then be involved in helping others get clean water.
I love it. So let me recap that for everybody. Now, I want to make sure you get this. So the Clean Water Project is going to help kids understand the problem that exists out there, which is a huge, huge problem, this water crisis. And then kids understand how the filter works, which you're going to demo that for us in a second, right? Because I remember that when Scott came to our office and demoed this for our team here, it's just amazing the way this filter works and how much life you can get out of this filter. And then there's a great gospel story that goes with the filter project. So why don't we, Andy, go to full screen, take me off the screen for a minute, so it's just Lisa, so everybody can see how this filter works.
So, we've got our manure water in here. And, this is pretty dark, but, the people in the world are drinking water, that looks like this. So the way the filter works is just based on gravity. And you just lower the filter down and you get clean water.
That's crazy.
It removes all the germs, the bacteria, all the parasites that are making people sick. It takes care of them. One of my things that I love about the curriculum, when we're talking about how the filter works. We talk about that it's like a pasta strainer. You know, a pasta strainer, you pour the pasta and the water in, it catches the pasta and the water comes through. That's exactly what this filter does. You pour the dirty water in, it catches all the germs and bacteria because the holes in the filter are 0.1 micron. And the smallest bacteria is 1 micron. So the holes are 10 times smaller than those bacteria. So anyway, the water goes through, it catches all those germs, all those parasites, and clean water comes out. And it's actually cleaner than US drinking water standards.
Is it really?
Pretty cool. Yeah.
And I know y'all have told me before, but the lifespan of that filter, I mean, several years, isn't it?
Yeah, we specifically made it to be rugged, something that we didn't want to solve a problem for 6 months or even a year, but it's made to last up to 10 years. All they need to do is clean it, and which is very simple. We teach them how to do it, and it's incredible that something so small and so simple that kids can even understand is going to last and solve their problem for 10 years.
I love it. All right. So we have a lot of children's pastors watching or listening now, or they'll be listening later today or through the week. Is this, talk to us just super practical now about the Clean Water Project. Is this a VBS project? Is it, how do we practically implement this in our church?
Yeah. It's however you want to implement it. But one of the things that I think is cool is, we started as kind of a VBS companion curriculum. So a lot of people are using Orange, or they're using another primary VBS curriculum, but they're looking for something as an outreach, something, again, to get their kids focused on something outside of themselves. And so they're looking for a missions focus. And so we can provide that. We have lessons that, we have skits and games and things like that are part of it. And we teach them, again, about the global water crisis. And so, our church has done it as a live VBS outreach curriculum. And so you could use it that way. If you're in person, you could do it. You could do it obviously virtually, the same way that you're adapting, kind of the traditional VBS curriculum. You could use this. We have videos, and we have kind of on-screen things that you could use to adapt that curriculum in case you don't get to have a live VBS this summer. But then with this whole pandemic, we took our curriculum and adapted it to make it an at-home curriculum. So let's say you don't get to have VBS at all this summer. You don't get to do it virtually. You don't get to have it in person, but you still want your kids to develop that heart of compassion, that love for God and love for others. We have put together a curriculum that you can go through as a family, or a kid can go through on their own, that does those same things. It introduces them to the crisis. It teaches them how they can make a difference, and encourages them to raise money to do that.
I love it. Now, I'm going to bounce ahead, then come back.
Yep,
because
you're fine.
At the end, I want to talk about in case anybody's got to bounce early. This is a free resource, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Andy's going to drop a link in to a landing page where you can learn more. Check this out, Kidmin leaders. This is a free, F-R-E-E way for you to put a tool in the hands of mom and dad this summer, something you can use in your virtual VBS, your in-person VBS if you're doing one, your camp. Do it for 5 weekends this summer. It's free. Andy, if you'll drop that link in, that'd be great. Go check it out. Now, will you take a minute and unpack what's included inside this resource?
Sure. Well, the resource itself, we have, so in the kids, the VBS companion, there's 5 lessons, so you could do a whole week.
Okay.
And there are there's a skit involved that you can use if you have the people to do it. There's that kind of talks about how a kid can make a difference. There is, again, the education, there's videos, there's a kid challenge that we provide every day.
Okay, talk to us about those kid challenges.
Yeah. So each day we want to ask them to do something to kind of engage more than just their time at, during the camp, during the VBS. And so we've developed some things where we've challenged them to do something different. So for example, the first day, we talk a lot about the global water crisis and how far people have to walk to get water. And so we created this water walk challenge. And so depending on how old they are, let's say a preschooler, maybe they would have a bottle of water, just a regular old bottle of water. Maybe a second, third grader, maybe they would have like a milk jug with water in it. And, older kids, they could have a bucket or maybe even 2 buckets, fill it with water and see how far they can walk. The average person in Asia and the Middle East walk about 3 hours to get water.
That's crazy.
And so we're saying, walk to the end of the street and back, see how far you can walk, get the whole family involved and just experience what it's like for them, even on a small level, to be able to carry that water.
Now, I love that. We talked about something earlier, and that is, and we might have missed it, which might have been my fault. When you demoed the filter, you talked about how that there is a gospel picture there.
Yeah.
That really resonates well with kids. You have a minute to share that with us.
Yeah, that I would love to. Okay. The thing that we talk about is, our hearts are a lot like that dirty water. We all sin, we all make mistakes, we all make bad choices, we do things we regret. And when we do that, it makes our hearts dirty. Mm-hmm. And we can try whatever we want to get rid of that dirt. A lot of times we try to be good, do good things. We go to church, we help others, we love our family. But doing that is kind of like taking this clean water and dumping it into that dirty water. Ryan, how much clean water would you have to add to the dirty water to make it clean?
I don't think you could.
You can't. Yeah, it's always going to be dirty. And that's the same with our hearts. There's nothing that we can do to make our hearts clean on our own. Mm-hmm. We need a filter. We need someone to do that for us. And so Jesus died on the cross, taking on our shame, our guilt. Just like the filter takes on the dirt of that water, Jesus takes on our shame and our guilt, and he makes our hearts clean.
I love it. Love it. All right. Now, I understand that part of the activities, part of the kid challenges are the kids actually get other kids involved.
Yeah.
And they even have the opportunity of raising money to send these water filters around the world to kids just like themselves. Tell us what that looks like.
Well, we give them activities where we encourage them to, like you said, get other kids involved, tell their friends, maybe, especially in the at-home edition, where we encourage them to email friends and have them be a part of it. We give them ideas for things that they could do to raise money. Even in the midst of this, it's mm-hmm. when there's social distancing and all of that going on, it can get a little trickier to raise money. You're probably not going to have a lemonade stand this summer, but other things that they can do. In the at-home curriculum, we have like some art projects that we have them do. And we say, hey, what if you showed those to your family and offered to sell them your art project as a way to raise money, that kind of thing. But also from the money that is raised, let's say a church is doing the curriculum as a VBS companion, let's say our church goes to Guatemala and there's a water crisis there.
Mhm.
The money that we raise for filters, Filter of Hope will send to us that we can take with us on our own mission trip that
That's
we're
cool.
already going on and provide clean water for those people that we're already having a
That's neat.
relationship with.
Mhm.
If you don't have something like that, we have trips that we take that we'll take them on and then send pictures back. In fact, it was cool the summer that we did it at our church. That next month, we were taking our youth group to Cuba to deliver these water filters. So it was really fun for the kids to see, okay, so we're raising money right now, and then these high schoolers are going to take the filters and deliver them to families. And then we got to give the church the pictures of the families that we got to give the filters to, and the kids got to see right away, these are the families whose lives were changed. These are the kids who no longer have to drink filter, dirty water.
I love
and so if you have a partnership in a water crisis country, we are happy to send the filters to you to deliver yourselves, or we can deliver them for you. And you can even take a trip yourself. So the church can set up a trip with us. We handle all the details and logistics, and you can deliver them yourselves.
I love that. Love that. As we wrap up, Scott sent me a YouTube video. I don't know, is this a good time to play this video?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. In preparation, he thought we might want to play this today. So let me find it. Okay, I think that's it. 1 second. Okay. Yep, there it is. Okay, let me share my screen. Y'all see this YouTube video? I'll go full screen. Watch this 3-minute video about the kids' Clean Water Project. I think you're going to enjoy it.
My name is Caroline. I am a normal kid just like you. I love living in the United States. I play the French horn in my school band. I love pizza and going swimming, and I love talking to my friends. I'm just like you. But sadly, all over the world today, there are millions of kids our same age who don't have the same things we do. In fact, their lives are so different from ours that they don't even have clean water to drink. I can't imagine what that would be like. If we're thirsty, we go to the refrigerator and push a button to get water, or take a bottle of water out and drink it. That's not the way it is for almost 1 billion people in the world today. The only way they'll have water is if they get it from a river, a pond, or even a mud hole. Many kids have to walk up to 2 hours one way carrying a bucket to get water, and often that water is not even clean. Animals drink out of these same rivers and ponds, and where animals drink, they go to the bathroom, right in the same water. Not only that, but people wash their clothes in that water, so there is soap in it. There are all kinds of bacteria and things in the water that are making these kids really sick, and not just sick, but killing them. Drinking unsafe water kills more people around the world than anything else. Someone every 20 seconds dies from drinking this bad water. But it doesn't have to be this way anymore. You and I now have a chance to help families and kids just like us. Your church is working with Filter of Hope, who has invented a water filter that people can use no matter where they live. It will take the dirty water and make it cleaner than the bottled water we buy in stores. No matter what is in the water, this filter will make it clean. And when it does, the kids and their parents get well. Now kids can go to school and grow up just like we do. Their parents can get well and can go to work to provide for their families. No more will have to die because of the water they drink. The filters will give them up to 150 gallons of water every day for at least 10 years, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. We're asking you to join us in providing clean water to families around the world, families who are just like your family. You can save your money, do chores around the house, and do anything to raise money to help give a family a clean water filter. Your leader will tell you more about what your group is doing, but you need to know, from one kid to another, that you can make a difference to kids around the world. You may give the money to send the filter that will save someone's life. Kids Kids can do big things when we work together. Will you help me save someone by giving them clean water?
I love that. I love that. Thanks for sending me that video to share.
Sure. One of the things that we haven't even mentioned is the filters are only $40 each. So, if a family of 4 shares a filter, that means you can provide clean water for a person for 10 years for $10.
Yeah, that's
and
great.
I think that's one of the things that really hits me is, pretty much any kid can raise $10.
I think so.
I think, some kids may have to work harder than others. Some may have to sacrifice more than others, but any kid can raise $10. And then for them, again, going back to kind of the beginning, for them to be able to do something, they themselves can do something. They can give some kid like themselves clean water for 10 years. And it even brings me back to kind of what you were saying at the beginning about focus and setting our minds on things above. I mean, that's the same for our kids, right? We want our kids to learn what it means to set our minds on things above and not on earthly things.
Yep. Lisa, wrap us up by telling us one more time, how can we learn more? Churches that want to get involved in this, parents that want to get involved in this. This is a free resource to help your church and your families make a difference. Tell us how they can learn more.
Yeah, a couple things you can, I know Andy was going to give the link. And if you go to that, follow that link, you can get right to the resources. You can download the at-home kit. You can download a resource kit that kind of goes with, and the VBS companion. Take a look at it, see what works best for you guys. You can also go to the Kids Clean Water Project at filterofhope.org and get more. You can send us any questions that you have, and we would love. We feel like partnering with the church is, the kids are the hope of the future, right? They're the ones that are going to be the apostles, the disciples of the future. They're the ones that are going to be leading our church. And so we want to partner with Kidsmen and be able to invest in those kids and help them develop a heart of compassion.
I love it. Let me pray for you. Lord, I thank you for the ministry, a filter of hope. I pray for this Clean Water Project. I pray that there would be a lot of churches and families that would respond to this just because of this coffee chat today. Someone listens to this podcast this week or watches on YouTube or catches this on Facebook, and you plant something in their heart that this is something they can do with their kids and with their families to really make a difference. Lord, I pray you would bless Scott and Lisa. Thank you for their friendship. Thank you for their partnership in ministry. Thank you, Lord, for their desire to make a difference. Lord, it's contagious, and I just pray that you would bless them in all that they do. I pray for this ministry. I pray that the brightest days would be in the future. We do pray for our world today. We pray for those, Lord, with such great needs. We lift them before you. We thank you for this chat. Thank you for this conversation. In Christ's name, amen. Lisa, thank you for joining me today and for sharing your ministry.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Yeah, and we'll see you at MegaCon.
Definitely. And y'all could check out the link, email Lisa, find her, Scott, on Facebook. They'd be happy to talk with you about this and partner with you in ministry. Lisa, thanks again.
Great. Thanks so much.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
God bless. Oh, friends, what a great coffee chat. I want to remind you before I go that Father's Day is, 3 Sundays away from Father's Day. If you are thinking about what are we going to do, you're looking for something new, we've got some great Father's Day resources. All you need to do is, here's what you can do. Go to Kids Matter, click download categories right here, and then click seasonal, and then click Father's Day. And look at this. We've got 8, 9 resources for you to help you with Father's Day. We have a Famous Dads of the Bible quiz, Which Dad Said It crowd breaker game, Who's the Daddy Bible quiz game, Double Vision on-screen game. That's a fun one. They're all fun. Does dad have hair on his chinny chin chin? Father's Day game. Dad jokes, funny or fail, on-screen game. Who's your daddy on-screen game? We have a Father's Day quiz video. We also have a lesson called Sons and Daughters of the King, a Father's Day lesson. All right here at kidsmatter.com. As you're thinking about Father's Day, whether you are doing Father's Day at your church or whether it's going to be a Zoom or a pre-recorded service or something that you put together and send out on demand, whatever you're going to do, make sure you remember kidsmatter.com has some great resources to help you along the way. It's been a great coffee chat. Thanks for joining us today. Hope to see you tomorrow at the same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Central Time. Thanks for being such a great part of the I Love KidMin community, the children's ministry community. Y'all are amazing, amazing people. Remember, stay focused on the right things today. You steer toward what you focus on. Make sure that your attention, that your mind and your eyes are pointed in the right direction. Coffee chat. See you tomorrow. Be blessed.